Are you skinny fat? That's what we're discussing today. So there's a few main characteristics that make up skinny fat people, and they differentiate a little bit from the hard gainer ectomorph type of person. So I'm gonna go over these 5 questions and I want you to ask yourself them when I'm going over them. And if you can say yes, or the person that I'm describing, the avatar kind of describes your personality and how you work out, how you eat, then you probably are skinny fat. All right, so number 1, where do you hold your body fat? When you're skinny fat, the majority of people hold it around their midsection. So you have naturally thin arms, naturally thin legs, but then you have the stomach that protrudes forward a little bit, and that's where a lot of the fat is going. With skinny fat people, a lot of times it's visceral fat that you're holding on to, which is actually fat that you can't see. So you can see, obviously you have a little bit of belly, but there's even more fat down below there. Visceral fat is the fat that surrounds your organs versus the fat that's flabby and you can see. So it's really dangerous to have visceral fat because it can cause inflammation and lead to a lot of health problems down the road. So with that excess body fat in your midsection, skinny fat people have a pretty high body fat percentage since they're low weight, and then they're holding a lot of this fat here and visceral fat. So if you do have that thin frame all around, but most of it is your midsection with excess fat, that would be a characteristic of skinny fat. Number 2, are you weak? So think about this. Can you do a push-up, 5 push-ups, 10 push-ups with good form? I've noticed with working with my skinny fat clients in the past, their upper body strength isn't the best. So when they do a push-up, they can do it, but form's pretty bad. Their hips are sagging down. They're struggling to do the push-up. Or think of things like carrying groceries in. When you carry groceries in, is it heavy? Do you get winded easily from it? What about helping someone move? Moving boxes, lifting boxes, does it hurt? Is it a struggle for you? So those are all signs that you're weak and definitely need to work on gaining some strength. Number 3, how are your health markers? So going back to that first example about the body fat in the midsection, that visceral fat often goes unnoticed. So health markers can be off without you even knowing. So some signs of skinny fat people with their health markers would be high cholesterol, elevated blood sugar, high blood pressure. So if you feel like you might be a skinny fat person and you don't know that information, it might make sense to go see your doctor, get a physical, and discuss those things with them. I am not a trained doctor or anything, so I can't tell you exactly what to do with that. But just know there is correlation between those health markers and skinny fat people. Number 4, how do you work out? So working with clients in the past, I've noticed there's usually 2 types of skinny fat clients. The first one is the one that doesn't really even work out at all. They're very low energy. They don't move a lot throughout the day, a lot of sitting. And for the people that do work out, it tends to be cardio, usually long distance cardio. So running on a treadmill for a long time, doing the elliptical, things like that, playing sports, a lot of basketball, any of those sports. So when you're working out like that, it's actually not the best way for skinny fat people to overcome that body type, because you think you're just going to do a bunch of cardio, you're going to shed that fat, and it's possible that you will, but there is a better way to work out, but we'll discuss that in a different video. So for now, just kind of take notice of how you're working out and see if it matches with what I just described. And lastly, what is your nutrition like? Skinny fat body types tend to be higher in junk food and processed foods, not really paying attention to what they're eating. Additionally, the breakdown of protein, carbs, fat is heavily leaning towards carbs since it's more processed food. I've noticed that protein levels are very, very low with skinny fat clients, which is not helping send a signal to build muscle and transform your body. So when you're loading up on this processed food and lots of sugar, you're going to stay thin in those areas that we talked about, but it's still just going to continue to pack on here. So take a look at those 5 again. If you answer yes to many of those, you probably are skinny fat, and there is a certain way that you need to be working out and you need to be eating. We're going to discuss that in additional videos. But if you have any questions, leave a comment and I'll be happy to answer them. Or if there is a video done by this time you see it, I'll link you over to that video. All right, guys, see you in the next one.